she took off her top and then was like painted, breast painted, like she had spray. And then I found a picture of it from my coworker's phone that was his friend. I was like, holy shit, that's my fucking girlfriend.
Oh! Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I'm Mario.
And I'm Peter.
And we're Guys That Listen. On today.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going.
We keep it going. We keep it going.
We love the enthusiasm.
I like that.
On today's show, we got the very talented, very funny, one of WeHo's up-and-coming comedians,
Yep.
David.
Me? Yeah. Hi guys, thank you for having me.
No, thanks for coming through.
For sure, yeah.
Tell us about
First
yourself.
time here, man. First time doing a podcast.
Nice. How you feeling?
Nervous.
Nah.
But I love it.
I think you need another drink, bro.
Nah.
I think you should take that shot right there.
Okay, so I'm 39 years old, right? So as we get older, you sip on this.
Oh.
You sip on. You don't take
You
shots
can
anymore.
never tell. It's like with the Asians don't raisin. You know, like your
Asian
genes
don't
are-
raisin?
Asians
Oh.
don't raisin. Like
But
you'll look this way till you're 60, and
but-
then you go.
Yeah, exactly. One night, it's like night and
Overnight.
day. Yeah.
Overnight, you like lose 5 inches. Like,
It's like they'll always be calling you Kuya, and then they'll be was it Kuya?
Kuya, yeah.
And then they'll just be calling you Tito.
oh, damn.
Yeah. So I'm David. I'm a stand-up comedian and actor, and I moved to LA like in 2019, right before
nice.
the pandemic.
Oh, perfect time.
Perfect timing.
Right? Yeah. Right.
You've been pursuing stand-up for how long?
So it's funny. I came out here to pursue acting, but it changed when I moved here to do stand-up.
Oh.
Yeah, but I've always wanted to do stand-up since I was like a little kid because I'm the youngest of 7 kids.
Oh,
yeah. So I was like always the entertainer of the family, and I
You have to be.
Yeah, exactly.
So
They
you
always
don't
like,
get beat up.
like David, make us laugh. You know, like they would dress me up as like a little girl, and be
What?
like, perform for us. I'm like, what is this? But it made them laugh, so I'm like, okay, that's fun.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like the family clown type of thing, huh? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Is that part of your stand-up now?
Pretty much, yeah. I tell a lot of stories of like my siblings like just picking on me. Like I have this picture of me being hung on a hook on a coat rack as a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see my siblings just like they're just like having the funnest time.
Time of their life.
Yeah.
Whoa,
yeah.
that's crazy. I mean, I get, I have like younger siblings. I'm the oldest one out of what, 4?
Yeah.
And the youngest one always gets kind of bullied, I mean, I know you said like, you're there to make them laugh, but in the older siblings perspective, it's kind of like, now that I look back, I'm like, oh, it was kind of like bullying my little siblings.
Yeah. But even as the oldest one, do you get picked on too?
No,
Not
I'm
at all?
bigger than they are. They can't do anything.
Okay. Well, maybe because my oldest brother, he was like easy target too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was an easy target.
What do you mean by easy target?
Because he didn't give a fuck, like he just, I guess that comes with being the oldest too. Like you don't care really, but you're there to watch over your, like, what are your little siblings going to really do to you? You know what I mean? So he was like the easy target. Like we can make fun of him. He doesn't like take it personal.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
Sounds like
yeah.
a dynamic.
Yeah. So we kind of met in that middle part. We're like, okay, I guess we're the easy targets of the family.
Yeah.
So pick on us as much as you can.
Being that like you're the youngest one, that means that everyone's seen you grow up, right? Because you're the youngest one.
Yeah.
So what was like your youngest memory? Because it sounds like they've done a lot of
That's
shit
a good
too.
question. There's one memory that has always been brought up. Like everyone remembers this. Like my grandpa, he I think I was like maybe like 1-year-old or 2-year-old, and then we were on like a cruise ship, and he gave me like apple juice, right? He's like, here, take it. It turned out to be like some whiskey.
Oh,
and then,
what?
And all of a sudden, I'm like, apple juice, and everyone just started laughing. Like they were like, that's what I guess where I just my first memory. Yeah, just everyone laughing. Yeah.
Do you remember? Because like, all right, as a kid, when you get like something super extreme, like drinking, like let's say whiskey or beer. Like I remember my first time having beer, I was like 6 years old.
Wow.
And they didn't give it to me. I didn't know. I thought it was apple juice. Funny enough, right? Because it looks like that in a cup. So I drank it, and it traumatized me for like the longest time. I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then when I found it was beer, I couldn't drink beer for the longest time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you waited till you're like 10 years old or something?
yeah. Basically, I had to make sure I was grown up by the time I took my first real sip. But you know what I mean? Like,
the taste, right?
Yeah, the taste. It lingered in my mind. Like, that's the reason why I don't like Coronas.
You're
Like,
like,
I
you're like the biggest drinker I know, so I'm like, I should have given you more at a young age to traumatize you more.
It took me forever to like. I still cannot like. Corona is like my most hated beer, and that was the beer that I had when I was like 6 years old.
That's so-
I still remember it to this day, and I still hate it.
Yeah.
My family also tells a very similar story where it was like apparently like I was like 1 or 2 or something.
See, they start you young,
oh
right?
yeah, they start you
Yeah,
young, and
yeah.
it's like it's like your dad and the uncles and everything. They're like, oh, they'll give you a little beer and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know what it
families
is.
think it's so
I
funny,
think it's
huh? They think it's so funny to get these like
Fucking
1-year-old
low-key.
drunk. Like what the?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, cheers, guys.
They just want to,
Cheers.
yeah, cheers. It's a good story to drink to. Yeah.
And so I was like 1 or 2 or something like that, and like my parents always tell the story. And apparently, like I really liked beer after that or something like that.
Really?
So, yeah.
So you were the opposite.
Yeah, apparently I was the opposite. So what they did is they put chili on like one of the beer like bottle stuff, and the next time I tried it, I was like, oh, and I was like, why would you guys do that to me? Like I was like a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really like to drink now, so it works.
Maybe that's why.
As you drink your beer, I don't like to drink.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers to that. Cheers to that.
But that's the fun part of like being in a big family, right? Like you
Yeah.
just
Oh, yeah.
like you pick on each other, you know. Like Ariel, I used to scare this girl all the time with like, well, just like the younger kids, you just have a gravity towards like just scaring them,
Yeah.
wanting to, yeah.
Just like
Or like just showing them that that video of when something pops up, like what we did that,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it seems like a normal video, and it goes. Whoosh.
yeah.
Yeah.
when you said the video, I'm like the ones on E-Bombs World.
Oh no.
That's opposite of scary. That's the fuck is this? Like,
The funny thing is, that's what my cousins would show me. Like we when you have like the holiday parties and you're with all your cousins and everything, it's your older cousins to be like, hey, come look at this, and it'd be like the weirdest, like most like like stuff you'd see on E-Bombs World, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like this is crazy. Yeah, like this is like Saddam Hussein getting like murdered or something like that, and I was like, what? Like, and I'm a little kid. I'm like, what the heck?
yeah, remember that video of the guy getting his head shot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
That was
Yeah.
fucking. That
Yes.
was during the Obama, Osama bin
Yeah,
Laden.
yeah,
right?
yeah, it was.
Right
it
after
was. It was like a
9/11?
reporter or something that, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
crazy.
It was a
and I
US
remember,
reporter.
I remember the fucking room I was in. Like it was like my uncle's room. It's all my cousins and stuff, and we're all like on. I was like, oh, let's go look at this and stuff, blah blah blah. And we're looking at it, and I was like, oh fuck.
Don't you think it's kind of crazy that when you put a bunch of kids together, like in a weird way, and maybe we're just raised wrong. I have no idea, but like they show each other some fucked up stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm going back to like thinking about like what you can remember when you're younger. Like one of my earliest memories was like my aunt. She was 16 at the time in high school, right? Like she was like a gangster, right? She hung out a bunch of like gangbangers and whatnot, and ABGs, the real ABGs. You know what I mean? Not the boba drinking ones right now, but I don't know what it was. But for some reason, she put me in like one of the rooms and she turned on like a porno. And she had just locked me in there, being a 3-year-old. And I remember.
Holy
it.
shit!
Yeah, I don't know how long I was in there before like I got out, but like as a kid, I didn't think it was like good or bad. I was just like, oh, this is interesting. But I remember it, right?
Yeah.
And I just had a talk with my friend Mike, and he said something pretty interesting. He read like this book about like it was like about psychology, and he said like when you're really young, like 1, 2, or 3, you're not supposed to remember most of those things.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
And if you do, typically it's some sort of like trauma. And not like in a good or bad way. It's just more like, oh, it's something way off that you cannot like forget.
Now
And-
I feel bad for doing that to my niece. Not
what?
Not the porno. Not the porno.
Oh, the niece.
Context.
Not the porno. Not the porno. It was
And
like
the niece,
something scary.
Ariel.
Yeah.
It was Ariel.
No, it was Alyssa. Shout out Alyssa. No, it was so I showed her something very like traumatizing as like a scary figure, and like as she was growing up, she couldn't perform like in front of like even like a Christmas because there's like a big Santa statue, which would scare her, and I feel so bad because I feel like I had a lot to do with that. You know what I mean? But
What, was like a
it's
scary
true.
Santa video? Like
No, it was one of those pop-up videos, and
Yeah.
like she feels like those type of stuff is scary, like non-real figures
Yeah.
are
Yeah,
scary.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
which makes sense.
damn it, I feel bad now.
No, but
And you
It's true,
should.
though, as I should. Yeah.
and don't get me wrong, like obviously we're not perfect and we're just learning, right? It's like our uncles and aunts like giving us alcohol when we're younger. Like we're
Yeah.
finally understanding, like okay, maybe some of that stuff isn't
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
No,
right, to do
but
I mean,
kids,
it's
you know
fun
what I
at the time, but like,
yeah,
right
yeah.
now it's
Yeah,
just
like,
like,
dude, like my uncle. I went back to Vietnam. My uncle was like giving this like baby who's like 6 months old like a sip of beer, and
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. Back in the States,
Nope.
you would go to jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But in Vietnam, on the countryside, they just fucking thought it was hilarious. Like it's totally different.
It is very different. That trauma thing that you did say though does I think we've spoken about this before, but it's like I had something very similar happen to me where it was like I think I was 5 and I remember like it was me and my older cousin and we were just at home and he put on like a porn thingy and I remember it to this day and I remember like it was 2 girls. You know, and like
In one cup.
no cups. You know, I don't think they even had the internet back then, sir.
Yeah.
It was like on Showtime.
Oh.
Showtime after hours.
Oh damn.
After dark. And I remember it, and I remember it because it was like, to this day, like I heard it on Loveline too, where it was like this guy called in. He's like, I saw, 2 women having sex when I was really young, and since then, the only thing that turns me on is 2 women.
Wow.
Where for me, it went the other way, where it
Oh.
was like, it was 2 women. I'm like, you know what? That doesn't really like do anything for me right
It
now.
has
Like,
to be 2 men.
a man and a woman.
Okay.
And then
That's so crazy to think though. Like it does have trauma.
But it's
like, in
I
some way,
remember
yeah.
it today. I remember where I was. I remember what the girls looked
Yeah.
like. I remember like pretty much everything. You
Yeah.
know,
Wow.
in that
And
same instance.
It's so hard to kind of like interpret to how it affects you as an adult, because you don't know, like you don't really kind of dig back that far and be like, oh, that's why, But I do remember, so Mario knows this about me, but like it hasn't happened in a while, but like I had this, I guess like a weird kink where like if girls like cry in their makeup runs, I find it extremely
That
attractive.
turns you on?
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm like,
Wow.
god damn. So I would
Wow,
get in
yeah,
fights
yeah.
with like my ex girlfriend. She would cry and she's just
Like more and more.
are you
Are you hard right now?
are you hard right now? I'm like, I can't help it. And she's like, I knew that you watched porn when you were 3. That's what fucked you up. That's why you're like this. I'm like, damn, is it?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Dude,
I
no.
don't know.
Honestly, it got introduced to me like at a young age too. Like I have an older brother. I have 3 older brothers, so
Yeah.
of course it's gonna be
Oh, yeah.
introduced to
Yeah.
me at a young age. And I do remember my first pick. I'm not gonna say who it was, but I can't get that image out of my head. And I'm like, okay, shit. Now I have a perverted mind. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Just
yeah.
like, yeah. It definitely does like
Play a role, right?
play a role into your adulthood. Like
Yeah.
fuck.
I think it's
But
like
you know what? At least we're aware of that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
now,
Yeah.
right? And then we just kind of slow down on those things or understand like, hey,
Exactly,
this
yeah.
might fuck up a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But I think, especially like for us, like those things translate when we're younger too. Because I know that, like me and my friends, when we were like in like middle school, we were like, oh, my homie would be like, hey, yo, come to my parents' room. Oh, I look at these VHSs.
Yeah.
And it's like all porns. And
Yeah.
we're like, should we watch it? Should we watch? Oh, play it. And then we'll all be like in a room, like watching porn, right? Like
Yeah.
fucking middle schoolers. And we're like, oh my God, what's the sound? Is your parents home? Oh, I got you in the shuffle. We're
Yeah.
all fucking scramble, right? Like
Yeah.
a bunch of fucking cockroaches and shit. And it's, and it's like crazy because like, I don't know if it's because like, especially, I'm assuming your parents are very similar. They don't talk about that kind of stuff. Like
No.
birds and the bees, like
No, hell
that
no.
doesn't
Yeah.
exist for us. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Did it happen to you?
My parents told me about it from an early age.
Really?
Oh yeah, my parents are super honest. Like, hey, this is how sex works. This
Oh,
is
wow.
not like super into detail, but like, hey, you are born because of this. Like, people have sex
How old
and they
were
have
you
this.
when they talked to you about it?
Oh, I was young. I was like,
Damn.
I don't know, 7, 8, or 9 or something.
Yeah,
like
Wow,
that.
8 or
Yeah.
9?
Something like that.
I've never gotten the talk before. Have you?
No.
Ever
But it
Nah,
wasn't.
never.
It wasn't even like
Yeah.
the talk. It was just so like. My parents are from villages, so it's like
Right,
they talk like it's just so like it's not even a huge deal exactly. It's like, hey, this is how babies are made,
Oh.
and it's like this is a thing. This is just the reality of life, So be careful when you're older,
Yeah.
Have babies. It's like that's it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
But okay, so you're the oldest sibling,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
I'm
both
the
you guys
oldest
are oldest,
sibling.
yeah.
You're the youngest.
I'm the
sibling.
youngest, yeah.
So you know how I said like, since you're the youngest, like everyone got to watch you grow up.
Mm-hmm.
That means that I'm assuming your older siblings had a lot of influence on you, right? Because
Oh,
like
yeah,
I didn't
for
have,
sure.
I didn't have an older brother be like, oh, this is how you talk to girls, or this is how
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you should approach women or whatever. It's like for me, it was kind of like I just learned as I went. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So you're the what?
I'm the
youngest out of 7.
7 children. Yeah.
So how many of them are guys?
So there's 3 guys, and then 4 guys including me, and then 3 older sisters.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was more close with my sisters growing up in the household because my brothers already had moved out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I had a lot of the woman.
The woman's perspective. out of
Perspective,
things.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's interesting.
it
Yeah.
means he has even more game.
I don't know about that, but I definitely like have. No, I would say like I try to get that respect of women.
That's
Oh,
exactly
I
what
was thinking
that's
that.
exact.
I was
That's and that's what I
thinking
meant.
But the guys, but
Okay.
but I
The
still have
real
the guys'
game.
I'm gonna
perspective.
respect the shit out of you.
Yeah.
No, but I do have the brothers, the guys' perspective
Who
too,
were
which
like,
was very
hey.
strong. Which because I got introduced to, like I said, porn
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
at a young age, so there was a balance.
Now that you said that, obviously you respect women, and you also have that strong side of your brothers, like trying to show you like how to approach things. Do you remember the first time you've ever approached a woman and how you did it?
On my own, not really, because it was
What do
just
you mean
like
on your own?
like if I was
without
at a
wingman?
club and be like, "What's your name?" Blah blah blah.
It could be like like a
Uh,
classmate, like whatever
actually-
your first experience was.
No, because the first time I had a girlfriend was through friends, so I don't know if that counts. So, like we got introduced through friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
as far as like spitting game, I have little to none experience on that.
Oh, okay.
Like yeah, like I just like it's friends of friends, you know each of each
Yeah.
other, and that's what it is.
Is that just like the approach that you prefer?
Yeah, it's easier, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? It's just friends? Like, oh hey, this is a girl. Now you guys are dating, or like?
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is my friend. You know,
I feel
you
like
guys
we
start
relate.
talking.
Like
I have
me and
no
him
idea
are-
what you guys mean.
Like okay for you, would you
See?
would you rather go to the club and like get a girl on your own and be like, hey, what's your name? Blah, blah,
Yes,
blah.
you would.
No,
You
no,
would?
no,
You
I
would?
wouldn't. No.
So it's interesting because my acting class yesterday, we were studying the womanizer.
Yeah.
And it was all about
That's
just
not me.
having- You're the womanizer.
sir.
You're the
If you
womanizer.
turn
No,
page
no,
9,
no.
Mario's face is right there.
Go on.
Yeah. So basically, we're just studying how the womanizer is. Like he's confident, he's playful. He just knows that's him. That's his truth.
Stop.
Yeah. So I mean, no, that's cool. That was interesting to me, and I tried to play it, knowing that I'm not like that.
Yeah.
It was so hard to get to that point, and it's like, okay, I understand what the womanizer is, but as me as the opposite, it's like hard to meet.
So when something starts for you, is it like you guys met through your friends and
Yeah.
then you guys just kind of
Yeah.
connect, and
or
then you guys,
we work together. Like my last
Yeah.
girlfriend, we worked together, and then we
Okay.
just she really approached me. I didn't approach her.
Oh, okay,
I was more of the quiet type, and I guess that was appealing to her.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
that makes
it's,
sense.
It's never me like engaging, not engaging, but like the one to start it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So non-womanizer,
That's-
womanizer. Right?
That is very much the Peter approach. Like
The Peter approach, yeah.
the Peter approach,
Yeah,
where like
that's how I do it. That's why I'm
it's
like,
literally how he does it.
okay, so we're similar in that
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like I'm not the womanizer. I got this guy for that. You know, so
Yeah.
it's a little different. Like for us, it's always like, oh yeah, friends, and we meet each other, and then we hang out like normal, and then
Yeah.
one day something happens, whatever.
And then the whole time we're like, hey, she likes you. Hey, she likes you. Now we're friends.
Oh.
Now we're friends. Hey, she likes you.
You shy away.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'm curious. Are you like that too? Because like
I shy away. I shy away. a
Yeah,
lot.
shy away. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying play like oblivious or something like that, but like,
But he's
like
oblivious.
sometimes
But
it's-
oblivious. Yeah.
But oblivious.
I
Yeah,
play
yeah.
oblivious.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Some
okay.
people, some girls like that, right? I don't know.
I mean,
Ariel?
Adrian, womanizer. You don't say good lord to a lady and not be considered a
Lord.
womanizer.
And hey, that might happen for us too. Like if we
Oh,
really
yeah.
like some, I've never gone to that point where I really like this girl where I
Yeah.
want to like approach her. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
no, that hasn't happened to
Yeah.
me either.
Yeah.
That's
and who's to
crazy.
say that it won't? But
That's so it's so
so funny,
It's so
right?
funny.
so funny. Yeah.
Because for me, it's always been more like, I guess it's like you have to do it to practice, even if like you don't
No, I
feel
agree.
comfortable doing it.
Yeah, that's
because
true, yeah.
for me, it happened to me at an early. Like my early 20s when I was like kind of trying to be better myself in this kind of like self-development phase too, where I'm like, hey, I see this part of me and like I'm so shy, I'm like not able to talk to women and stuff. I have to like put myself out there, so I have to go and try.
Yeah.
You know, I have to like go and like actually like put myself in uncomfortable situations, get shut down, get turned away, you know, and see what works for me.
Yeah,
And then that's how
yeah.
like I got like a little bit better at it. But before I was like, I was really shy at it. Like
Yeah.
I hadn't had any experience. And it's like we were talking about earlier how it's like, oh, you're the youngest and you learn from your brothers and your older sisters and stuff. And like for me, like I have a buddy who like he is younger than me. He's like a little brother to me, and he always asks me for like advice on here.
that's
Yeah,
sweet,
like
yeah.
and like I'm like, hey, like I'm giving you these kernels of like all the like the fuck ups that I've had to make, and I'm like, hey, you should do it like this. Like
Yeah, yeah.
when you do this, do this. If you're gonna kiss her, go like this. No.
Go like this. No, honestly, that's the way of life too. Like
Yeah.
you have to keep practicing at becoming like, well, in this case, confident, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you gotta
No, it is.
you gotta accept rejection.
And
is
it's,
what it
it's
is,
very
yeah.
much fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, because I'm
that-
sure like for you, like going up and doing stand up and stuff, like the first
Yeah.
time, it's like, oh fuck,
It's nerve wracking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, it's so nerve wracking. Like I was like, I was on a good pace like before the pandemic, and then once the pandemic happened, nothing, right? And I felt that now. I'm like, holy shit! Like I don't feel that confidence that I did
Yeah.
when I was doing that stuff before. So it's just like you got to keep doing it. Fake it till you make it too.
So how do
Yeah.
you feel about it now? Where
I
are
think
you?
I think right now at this point it took me a while to get back into to get that kickstart, but like even now today doing this podcast, I feel like I consider this a kickstart again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
okay.
I'm just like
Awesome.
I'm trying to be grateful for all like the opportunities, like the just be grateful for the moment and take it as you're, working on what you want to do. Yeah.
Do you feel more in tune like with your confidence and like you can like do stuff on the spot, like just go up there and like
Not yet. Not
okay.
yet.
Mm.
What
So
do you mean?
you don't want to perform right now? It's just
No, no.
You wanna give us
yeah. I'm performing right now. This is me performing. So
I'll be like your older brother. Tell us a joke, funny man.
yeah, no, I can't tell a joke right now.
I know that you said like you practiced it, right? And like I'm gonna be honest, right? I don't know if not
Cheers,
sure
by
you
the
feel
way.
the same way. Cheers,
Cheers.
brother. Cheers. But because we've always like, or at least from what I hear about your story, like it happens so naturally where like we meet friends of friends,
Yeah.
and then eventually end up with a girlfriend, in a relationship, long term, whatnot, right? It's almost like we don't have to pursue, we don't have to approach, right? So because of that,
Are
we're
you,
more
are you talking about like
like women, like
Oh,
like
women,
me,
okay.
so we're in a way we're more complacent because we're like, okay, this still works out without us trying or working at it.
Yeah.
Because you
when-
guys are cute. That's
Oh
why.
yeah, I wish.
Some of us have to work for it. All right.
Yeah. But when I see Mario and like we have a friend named Matt, and like, that guy tries
Oh,
hard.
that guy
He tries
tries
really
too hard.
fucking
Really?
hard,
Yeah.
really hard. But every time he gets shot down, like if he gets shot down twice, he gets back up 3 times. That guy is like resilient.
Right.
And,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Resilience
and I
is his
am-
middle
yeah.
name.
Yeah, and I
That's so
really
funny.
at this point in my life,
Is it
I'm
really?
like I kind of admire that.
Yeah.
I admire. I'm like, damn, dude. Like, cause, when you say you get kind of nervous and you kind of shy away, like I get that same feeling where I'm
Yeah.
like it's not that like I can't say to a girl that I really really like, but if it's not to that level, it's really hard for me to even say anything at all.
Yeah.
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 It
Yeah.
becomes
No,
really
I
difficult.
definitely feel that way
Yeah.
too. Like,
yeah, even though if I want to,
Yeah.
and sometimes I want to be able to like express those words without having to be like all in. You know what I mean? Like
you
sometimes,
could, you could be like all prepared, like be like, okay, I'm gonna get rejected. Whatever whatever happens, happens.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
could go up to that point, and then when you're actually there, you're like, holy shit, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of
So-
crazy, and that is like a level of confidence that I don't have in myself, man. I'm being honest.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
No,
I'm
same.
confident in a
Yeah.
lot of things, but that is something where it makes me feel like I'm a little boy still. Where I'm like, oh shit, dude, like
Yeah.
I'm so like shy right now, where I feel so nervous. But to the people out there, if you don't know, like Mario's the success story, where if you do practice it, yes, you could get better at it. You could become more confident in your approach, and that's the way you should really do it, no matter what. Even if it comes easy, you know what I mean? Like I don't think that, because for me, I'm a person where I don't like it when things come easy. You know what I mean? Like I don't like when people are like, oh, I think you're like this so naturally. I'm like, I don't like it that I'm just
Yeah.
like naturally like that. I want to
Yeah.
earn it. I want
Yeah,
to
that's
gain
true.
that.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
And it's not just because genetically this is how I am. Like it's because like I put in the hours.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why I
almost
appreciate
it's
it.
almost like the easy way out if you accept it.
Yeah,
that
almost.
way.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I see Mario. I seen him grow. You know what I mean?
That's good, yeah.
From
Thank
like
you.
Yeah.
like this shy little guy to womanizer, like
Yeah.
so quick.
Sir.
Yeah.
So what you're
And-
saying is I can make you a dating profile.
I think he would be honestly that he talks to his friend like that. I think he would be a great coach.
No, it's just very interesting to, like we were just talking about it during the break. Like you are the complete opposite of him. Like as far as woman, so whenever I say womanizer, it's not an insult. It's just like
I know.
yeah.
Oh, I'm saying it.
That's what we learned, like in the acting class, like because there's 8 different characters. There's the dumb one, which I play, which he says I play really well, and I'm not supposed to take that as an insult.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's who I'm playing. You know, what I mean?
Naturally fall into character with. That's like
yeah,
something.
exactly. Yeah, and then there's the womanizer, which is like is interesting to me, but it's not an insult, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's like 6 other more, but I can't think of it right now.
No worries.
Yeah.
Do you being an actor, right?
Yeah.
And you said like being the womanizer is difficult to like channel like that character. Like, what do you do to get into like that zone?
Well, what's the name of the game? Confidence, right? So you have to channel into your confidence. If you don't have confidence, you kind of pep talk yourself into it. Like, you moved to like, what did you do here to start your podcast?
I
What-
mean, I just threw out a bunch of ideas, threw out a name, talked
Yeah.
to a couple buddies, and
and you started it, right?
Yeah,
So
we started,
that's
yeah.
confidence right there. So
with
you
with him, I know what you're going for.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
him, it's never that issue. He can
Huh?
just start something like,
Yeah.
and he has no issue.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't have like that thing like, oh, what are people gonna think? You know,
Yeah.
oh, this like there he has this sort of like quiet confidence where like, oh, I want to start something, I'm gonna start it.
Yeah.
And it's just like that. And
so,
he just does it.
Yeah, so that's confidence right there.
Yeah.
So that's what you. That's
But
what
I think
he was
it's
telling us.
it's
Yeah.
very intrinsic for him where he doesn't realize it. I don't think you realize it. Where it's like
Mm-hmm.
you start to feel good. You know, you started the podcast, you started all these other projects, and you just go into it, and like you never like take the
Yeah.
step to think like, oh, what are people gonna think if I fail, or what are people gonna think if like this looks weird or whatever, you know? And you've never been. He's never been like that.
Yeah. So that's what was surprising to me too, because like when he said that, think of it. You move. Who are you? Are here from LA? Are from LA originally? No one raised their hand. Everyone was like, no. Actually, I'm from the Bay Area. Some people were from Texas, New York, and then we were all thinking about it. And then he was saying, there you go. That's your confidence. You moved out here to pursue your dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's confidence
Takes a
right
lot.
there. You took a risk. You know what I mean? So you just gotta somehow find a way to tap into your own confidence, and then that will naturally flow out when you do the lines.
That's interesting. So
Yeah.
you know, they asked you to play like the part of the womanizer, right? Mm-hmm. And now you're saying like, oh, I'm trying to figure out that confidence so that way you can channel that character. Do you feel now that you kind of experienced that character through being that character that you could play it more so outside of like, let's say an acting situation? Like, let's say a
Yes.
public, like, hey, I'm today, I'm going to give you a task.
Yeah.
I'm like, Dave, go outside.
Bring it out to the real life.
Yes, bring it out to
Yeah.
real life where you could go out to a bar. I want to see you channel that inner womanizer.
Yeah. Yes and no. Yes, because you have that perspective of what it takes, right? Yeah. No, because personally you don't have that confidence, but you have the tools to work on it now. Like, you know what I mean? The part of it is just like, he'll give you, or in general, they'll give you the tools to like work on what you need to gain that confidence.
Those tools that they give you could
Yeah.
be valuable to like regular people.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Because like if I were to go and they'd be like, all right, Pete, like try to be smooth. I'd be like, sure. I'd be like, hi, what's your name? You know, like it's still like I still don't understand how to do it. Like people tell it, but it's not as easy as to be like, yeah, go out and just be smooth and
No,
do something
That's
like that.
that's
Yeah.
so funny to me because you have so many varying levels of confidence and such a subjective definition of what confidence is. Because like I'll tell you, like doing this podcast in general, like getting the start in there, like I was like, ooh, you know, it's a little like it's a step to get, and like I got my confidence from you because you're like, you know, let's fucking do this. I'm ready for it. You're not even looking back like if it's gonna fail, if it's like, you know, people are gonna like think, oh, that sucks, whatever. And I'm like, dang, like Peter, like I get a little inspiration and confidence from that. And then I find it so funny where it's like, oh, but I can't say this to a girl, you know, like, so there's these varying levels of like what you're confident in within like yourself and like with the outside world.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
definitely. And you know, I think just because let's say you're confident in one thing doesn't make you confident in
Yep.
another.
Exactly.
I think that's just for me, like maybe like how you said, it's like intrinsic to me. You know, it is something that I feel like is more natural, and like to me to go out and like approach women and like compliment them is very unnatural feeling, which makes me nervous. And
Because you don't want to come off as like a creep, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and we talked about
Yeah.
this a lot, and that's not even just the case. I just feel like it just feels like it's not me, and you know, but through like seeing like let's say what Mario does, it's like you are who you want to be. Like if you want to be more smooth, then just work at it.
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like
Yeah,
instead
yeah.
of being because I actually really dislike this
think-
about myself.
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm a person where I always want everything to be very organic,
Right, right.
and very natural.
And I think we all have that. We all have the
Yeah.
smoothness in us. It's
Yeah.
just having that confidence in yourself. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean?
Oh, that's exactly the issue. It's
Yeah.
like I since I naturally don't have that confidence, I'm like, oh, this is just how I am. But I don't want to accept that. You know, I want to learn from Sensei over
No,
here.
for sure.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you one thing. That was a lot of that was like the practice, like doing all that. That was when I was younger. Like
Yeah.
you get older and stuff, and you realize it's like in the same vein where you don't want to like talk to someone like you're not really interested in. Like
Yeah.
I don't do that unless I'm someone's like really interested in. I'm like then I'll actually try and like talk and like pursue and stuff. Nowadays it's more like, you know, I'm older. You go so far in one direction where it's like, okay, let me practice, let me do this, and then you eventually taper back, and you're like, I'm only willing to like invest my time in someone that I actually see a future with.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like I don't go out as much anymore. I don't go and do that because I'm like, you know what, you get to there's a what do you call it diminishing returns. You get to a point of diminishing
Yeah, yeah,
returns.
yeah.
So now it's more like, hey, if I do like someone, like at least now I have, and that's literally what I always tell Alex. You're not doing this to like, try and like date multiple women
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like do all this. It's so
Yeah.
that when you find someone that you're actually really interested in, when you find someone that you're like, damn, this is someone I want to be with, And
Yeah.
what if like
Yeah.
you find that person and they're like, so outside of your league,
Yeah.
and you can't even talk to them,
Yeah.
So when I get to that point, I want to be like, okay, I want to be able to talk to you. I want to
Yeah.
be able to like, hey, like, look, we are a good match for each other. Like, be able to spit that game with you.
Yeah.
It's like Hitch.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, right?
He teaches all these guys who have like great qualities to them, right?
Uh-huh.
They're great guys. It's just that without the right approach, you can't even get a chance, right? So now it's kind of like, oh, you learned the approach, right? Now you could talk to them and like open up the doors, and then they can see who you really are.
Yeah.
And if they like you, awesome,
Because
It
what was the
works out.
message of Hitch? It's like, at the end of the day, you have to be yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's
And
exactly
really,
it.
dude. That's exactly
it.
it, though.
At
It's
the end of the day, you
exactly
gotta be
it.
yourself.
Yeah.
It's literally exactly
But
it. though.
don't you think we also live in like a society now where like, yeah, that is at the end of the day where you have to be yourself, that you want them to accept you, right? But initially that's like, we have to be like that person who's like that top tier, best of a class type of thing, right? Like, let's say
Oh, I
you're
see.
talking about
Yeah.
dating profiles, right? You're usually talking about things that make you stand out, that make you, this is the best version of yourself that
Yeah.
you're kind of trying to show people,
Yeah.
right?
I get so uncomfortable with profiles. Like,
Yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
sound like I don't know what the fuck to say. You know what I mean? Like, I don't-
What's on your profile right now? You
uh,
want to take a look at him?
It's some corny ass shit. I'll tell you that. It's like single, ready to mingle. So, hold on.
Hey, Mario,
No,
he's
no.
the profile optimizer, so ask
I
this
got
guy.
you.
Yeah,
I
he
depend a
does.
lot on my pictures because like it's like I get I feel the pressure of like trying to look good.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
about me, okay, don't laugh, okay.
No.
About me, positive attitude, outgoing, welcoming personality, good sense of humor, humble, and continuously growing. What more can you ask for? That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like you see other
What
profiles,
is
it's
that
like
one?
catchy.
Bumble,
It's
Hinge,
Bumble,
Tinder?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Mario, rate that profile.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad.
It's- it's
but I think you
simple,
gotta.
straight to forward, right?
I think you gotta put up that you're stand up. Like you got.
I have a picture of me in the stand up. That picture doesn't
Okay.
get that much attention though.
Okay. I think you got to say it in like just like something about you being stand up. Like, hey, I may be ugly, but I can always make you laugh.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the thing is, you're not ugly, so it's even funnier.
That's
Oh,
true.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's the irony of the
That's true. That's true. I'm not ugly. Okay.
You're like, yeah, you're right.
He's like, have you seen
But I
me?
rather get a girl's perspective of like from the dating, because for us guys it's funny and like it's attracting, like, oh, this guy's cool to hang out with,
Sense of humor takes you so far.
But I'm saying, like, as I'm writing that profile, I'm like it feels like I'm trying to be funny, you know what I mean? It's not really
Yeah.
me. So that's why I prefer like just meeting girls the old-fashioned way, like face to face,
Oh, yeah.
rather than dating apps, you know what I mean?
For a dating app, and Peter and I had talked about this, where it's like a dating app isn't like, it's not your main drive of like trying
That's
to find women.
true.
Like
That's
it's
true,
something
yeah.
that works in the back end. Like you have that there. It's like, hey, you check it occasionally. Maybe you'll get something there, but it's like you're still living your life. You're still exploring your
Yeah.
options within your everyday life. And if you meet someone organically, even better.
Yeah.
But this is just something that works for you in the background, where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
because you
Because
have
it's out there right now in our day and age. It's like it's a norm.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And it's just like you're expanding the range of your options, and it depends on what stage of your life you're in too. Like if you're finding people through your everyday life, that's even better.
Yeah.
But this is just passive. It's like, think about it like passive
It's just
income.
there.
It's like you're earning interest on it.
True.
You're just earning passive
hey,
interest.
that's a
but
good way to
interest
put
from
it,
women
yeah.
or interest from someone who would be out. Because who says you're gonna find the love of your life within the city that you're in,
Yeah.
within the 5 miles that you live in?
Right,
right,
what if you had to
right.
put it like to 20 miles outside? You might find someone who you really connect with. And
Yeah.
that for me, that's all I tell my friends. It's like, this isn't your main focus.
Okay,
It's
okay.
just something like you're putting yourself a little bit more out there.
Yeah, that's a good way to see it. No, honestly, I haven't seen it that way, but it makes perfect sense because, like, yeah, you're not limiting to yourself to the girls around you.
Yeah.
Like just this last weekend when I went to Vancouver, connected with a couple people, and then it was just like, oh, okay, it gives you that range. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Yeah,
Yep.
it gives you that opportunity
Yeah.
to meet other people. Yeah.
So do you guys think that, Mario always calls me extrovert, so I'll take it. But
Extrovert.
yeah.
He is an extroverted extrovert.
So as someone Mario, defines as an extrovert, do you guys think that like for introverted people who actually don't go out to meet a lot of people, don't go out to a lot of social events, their battery gets drained a lot more, their pool kind of at least to me, opened up once the apps came
Yeah.
out, right? Because
Yeah.
now you don't really have to meet these people. You can filter them out as you go too,
Mm-hmm.
and now you can connect through app before you even deal in person, right? If you think there's something there. Do you guys think that stands
yeah.
true?
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like it's very beneficial,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I kind of think it's detrimental. You know what I mean? Like, it can be like we're so focused on just we're relying on that to some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely beneficial. It helps out like guys like us. Like, me, I'm introvert.
Oh,
I
you-
consider myself introvert.
Okay,
Yeah, me too.
But you too? The womanizer? No, but yeah, it's beneficial. But I don't want it to be just like reliant on that. But you brought up a good point that it's just there to it's like a passive income type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because like on the opposite side, right? Me being extroverted, like I meet a lot of people, so I meet a lot of friends, right? So those scenarios where it's like it comes naturally, it happens more often.
Yeah.
Because I meet so many people, right? But if I was introverted, I would meet a smaller pool of people. So for me to just meet them like naturally, like as a friend of a friend, well, I have two friends and they introduced me to two other friends. It's a very small pool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, cause like on the flip side for the introverts, I'm like, I could imagine that makes it so much more like accessible, but like less stressful too.
for
Because
sure,
if your
yeah,
social
yeah.
values drained, like you don't really have to do too much to like
yeah.
kind of connect with people through an app or online.
It's
you
like
know?
heaven for them. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
thank God
yeah.
for this.
Yeah, because like now it's like, oh crap, I don't have to go out to this party to speak to like the two people that
Right,
like, I might be
right.
interested in.
It's like when you used
Yeah.
to talk to girls on a messenger, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Messenger for sure.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of what's that? Is Clubhouse?
No. what's
Yes,
that?
the voice app.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
That was a good one for during the pandemic. Like
I downloaded it. I never used it. I hopped on like for a second, but I never did anything.
it's
with
basically like a podcast. Like
Yeah.
you're just talking. Everyone gets a turn to talk, and then everyone mutes. And then if you're on this, there's like a stage that you call it. And if you're on that stage, you have the opportunity to talk, but you take turns basically. So it was a good outlet too.
Yeah.
It was a good app.
it. Do you
Yeah.
feel like it fizzled out? Like I haven't heard anything about it.
No, I think it phased out. Yeah,
Really fast.
Yeah,
right?
it
was really
yeah.
like everyone's like, "Did you get Clubhouse?" Yeah, I got Clubhouse.
Never
and like
heard of
3 months later, it was
Wow,
gone.
yeah.
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 So it's basically just like when we went through the pandemic, how Zoom got big.
True,
It's
yeah.
basically like the voice version of like Zoom, but you could do it in like bigger settings than just like 10 or 12 or whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
You could do it. So like it wasn't just for like friends to hang out with. You could do that, but let's say like Elon Musk is gonna have his Clubhouse room, and you could go on and listen to him talk. He's gonna talk to 3 other people,
Oh, okay.
and it's just all voice.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it fizzled out like super fast.
It was so hard to engage, like, because being a stand-up comedian, I tried to find more outlets on that, and I tried Clubhouse, which was hard because you can't really get the feedback you want from the audience.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I did a Zoom, which you said Zoom got popular, right? And I tried to do a Zoom stand-up, and that was hard because you're only focused on the person that's in front of you that's hosting. You can't really feed off of the audience, so it was just like, damn, there's no real outlet for. You could force it, but there's
Yeah.
no real outlet for stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I always thought that was like really interesting too. Like I'm not a comedian, so but I always think about like how like stand-up comedians work. Like a lot of you guys travel, right? Like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're gonna do gigs elsewhere, but the thing is that like the audience changes.
Yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
your material that might have worked here might not work there. So at the very end, like I'm assuming you're just trying to gather all the marbles that work, like universally, right? Like, oh, this is the one that's gonna be a hit, like
Yeah.
90% of the time. The
Yeah.
other ones might not work in Europe, but might work in like Canada, and whatnot, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, do you travel a lot?
I do
stand-up?
travel a lot, not
Okay.
for stand-up, but for work.
Okay, for work.
But I can tell, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But fortunately, like, I feel like being Filipino is like a universal thing too. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like Joe Coy, he has.
Hey, he
his,
didn't make it till he was 49, so
Was that?
he didn't make it till he was
How
49.
old is Joe Coy
He's.
now?
What do you mean?
He didn't have his stand up till 49 for his Netflix thing where he blew up.
Oh, what?
He was
Oh, I
49.
didn't know that. Yeah. So like, like as I was saying, like, it's fortunate to like. Well, I found a way to just like talk to all the kinds of groups. You know what I mean? Because what is more relatable than family? You know what I mean? But no, I definitely see like if you focus on your jokes on a certain thing that's not relatable, then it becomes harder to like
Yeah.
reach out to different audiences.
Mm.
But I found for me personal experience, as you do your personal experiences, then that's okay. That's good enough.
Do
Yeah.
you feel that there are certain comedians or certain skits that have inspired you? Do you have like a top, five or anything like that?
So we were talking about this
Yeah.
SNL. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love SNL growing up. I love like Jim Carrey in Living Color. In Living Color was my first
In
like
living color.
yeah, and like it's just his physical actions were like inspiring to me. Like I could do that. Then it became to Saturday Night Live, which was more focused on like characters, I guess, and just watching that live and then seeing how the audience reacts to that, it's just like wow, this is live. I want to do that. So that was more inspiring to me, like being the youngest of seven kids and just entertaining everyone live. Why not do that for like the whole world, you know what I mean? So that was inspiring.
Is there any particular
talk-
artists that you really look up to? Comedians that you really look up to?
Comedians,
Yeah.
I would say right now, so Jim Gaffigan was one.
Yeah.
He's a good one. I like him. Do you know Anthony Anthony
Anthony Bourdain?
Jeselnik? No, no. Anthony Jeselnik. Yeah, he's a good one-liner. Yeah, like just so simple. You know, his jokes are just like straightforward, simple, and it seems like something you could write. You know, and I was like, okay, it makes it seem like it's easy, like it could be done. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like him. I like Dave Chappelle's a good one. He's a
Love Dave
classic. Yeah,
Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle had a good SNL last week.
Yeah, that was
And
awesome.
that was a good
Gotta get Dave on here.
monologue.
Dave, please.
I think he was the first one to have a 15-minute monologue on
Wow.
SNL, right?
Do you have any favorites, Peter?
I mean, Dave Chappelle's the goat for me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have a couple other ones, and I'm, just to give you some context. I'm just really bad at names, so it's really hard for me to remember. But there's I forgot his name. Is Carl something? He's like an older white dude. He's passed.
Is he bald? Like bald?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
bald.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
I knew
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
But some of the shit that he says, I'm like, wow, that's brilliant,
Yeah.
but funny.
Yeah.
Like I forgot what he said, but one of the jokes was like, oh, you tell people there's a God, and they're like, oh my God, there is.
Yeah.
And you tell people, yo, the paint is still wet. They still touch it to see if it's really wet, you know?
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Fuck, what
That's
is
some
his
bad
name?
names.
George Carl?
Yeah, George
Yeah!
Carlin, George
Oh,
Carlin,
yeah,
George
yeah, yeah.
Carlin,
I know
George
you're talking
Carlin.
about,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, exactly. I like that kind of sense of humor, and
Yeah.
I just feel like I like stuff where it just doesn't feel like as forced.
Deadpan.
Yeah,
They call
yeah,
it deadpan, yeah.
deadpan. I guess you call it or things that are just not super extreme. Like Dane Cook was like a little bit like over exaggerate, over the top,
Yeah.
too much. Where I'm like, I can see why like really like a lot of younger people or people who just like kind of like toilet humor all the time, they find it funny.
Yeah.
But I like stuff where you kind of have to figure out like their narrative and like how they're talking about things, and they're not saying anything like directly, but once you get it, it like clicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, it's always like I love Dave Chappelle. Like, we were talking about this. Like I grew up on Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
And it really put in perspective some of like some race stuff, some cultural stuff,
Yeah.
political stuff
Political,
that
for
I hadn't
sure.
really thought about before.
Yeah.
Until I like saw Dave Chappelle, and I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know,
He
and
brings
it-
up a lot of social
Yeah.
issues, and,
Yeah.
which is, and turns into a comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I was like 13 at the time when I saw that, and it was just so foreign to like everything else I was like experiencing in my own like little world.
Yeah.
Where like it brought me out, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't know this was going on.
That's what I was saying. Like you grew up in a good era, like
Yeah.
being in like middle school, high school, to listen to Dave Chappelle. That's good. Fuck.
Him, and then he's like always my favorite, but Hassan Minhaj. He does his stand up called Homecoming. Dude, that shit made me tear up. He's like he was part of I think the Daily Show, and now
okay.
he does he has his own show on Netflix called The Patriot Act.
Okay.
And it's like about politics, about culture, all that, but he has this really good blend of like comedy and political humor and wholesomeness and race, and he does such a good job of blending it together. And he has this moment where he talks about like being this little brown kid in like America and like dating this like white girl, and her parents being like, oh, you guys can't date like that, she's gonna go to prom with someone else.
Yeah.
We just don't feel like you're right for her. And then he was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he just like basically walks home like all depressed and stuff. And then the girl goes to homecoming with the white guy, and then and then he pulls up her Facebook, engaged to this super Indian ass dude, like just look at him. He's like, "Are you kidding me?" It was so funny, but I was like, "Oh shit, I relate to that." As like, you know, being like a little brown kid trying to date like girls outside of my culture. Like I got that when I was little. And I was like, "Damn, like I feel that," you know?
It's all
Yeah. I feel like the direction it's heading towards now is like more political, which
yeah.
for me, I don't like it so much.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
feel that.
Yeah. That's where Saturday Night Live is heading towards right now. It's a lot of political stuff, which is fine. I get it. Like you can make anything funny, right?
Oh, yeah.
But for people that are not into politics like that, like
Yeah.
me, it's like, okay, I don't know where to
Yeah,
turn to.
I
You know
get what you're
I
saying.
mean? Yeah.
It's kind of like the low
Like, you
hanging
really
fruit
have to
too,
pay attention,
also.
right? Yeah.
That, and it's just the easiest thing to pick at the time. You know, like politics is hot. People talk about it so much more nowadays than before. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
every politician has a fucking Twitter where they get spat off shit. So it's like, oh, that's easy. It's low hanging fruit. I could make fun of them or make a scale of them.
Exactly.
It's right there.
Don't worry, Twitter won't be long. Won't be
yeah.
around long.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see, you know. But
Yeah.
so I do understand, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't relate to that because I'm not into like politics that much either. You know.
Exactly, yeah,
But some people do it well. They do it well where it's like,
Yeah,
oh, you know, you
yeah.
laugh at it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they're not stand up comedians, but like South Park is really good at making fun of like political issues.
sure, yeah.
South
Like,
Park,
yeah.
and they're fast.
Yeah,
they
they are
know
fast,
what's
yeah.
been pointed out, and it's hilarious.
Or
Yeah,
social like issues. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, outside political, you know, I think, you know, societal issues too. I think Key and Peele does a really good job.
Good.
Dude,
Yeah.
I need to like sit down and watch like a whole series. Like
Yeah.
I only see clips of
Yeah,
Kim
yeah.
Peele, yeah.
I mean,
I
I'm-
said,
yeah, that one's funny. That one's hilarious because that's so true. We funny enough, we actually kind of talked about with Brian last time, where it's like, oh, he doesn't like saying that, but then their guys they go behind the wife's back and they're like, "Bitch." But the funny one that I liked was when it was the bully one, where he goes up
South
to the
Park?
kid. No, it was Key and Peele.
Oh, Kim Peele, okay.
And the guy goes up to him. He's like, "What's up, bitch?" And he like smacks the shit out. And he's like, "Why are you so mean?" He's like, "Because I gotta deal with a bunch of guys." And,
yes.
And it shows like that deep, like
He's like,
psychological.
because my father beats me at
Yeah,
home
yeah.
and doesn't respect who I am. It doesn't
Exactly. And you're like, that was so real. How do you understand yourself to such a deep level? You know, and I'm just
Damn.
like, that's-
because I've been forced to.
yeah. And that's so true because like now, you know, as adults, like we're actually trying to figure out like why we have these habits, you know, why we act out and lash out like that. And like they kind of put it into like a skit. And like for me, I'm like, oh, you know, I always noticed that about my friends. And I think that to me is like the funniest thing where it's like they're presenting my reality that might be kind of harsh sometimes in a way where it's like it's comedy.
Comedic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so
That's
so
all
I
it
like
is.
that.
It's all comedy.
Yeah,
Right?
it's all comedy.
Life is comedy.
Life
Yeah,
is comedy.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure Mario's the same way because, you know, I know how he is. I'm assuming you're probably the same way too. But like when I deal with like tough times, I cope through comedy.
Oh.
I cope through making jokes. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
that's just the
Yeah.
way.
That's it's so funny that you say that because I was about to transition into that too. Like I was literally about to talk about that. How
Really?
I actually have an issue where it's like it can be like a very like serious conversation where like, you know, something like, oh, we're breaking up or something, and it's like sometimes I can't help it. Like
Yeah.
I need a joke in there, like, or I hear something and I'm like, you know, and I make a joke in it because I'm like,
Yeah.
I cannot like
Yep.
I need to make it a little lighter, like you
Yeah.
know, where it's just like, come on, like you just gave me such a, like an easy like,
Dude,
in,
you'll
like-
find the most funniest things in the most inappropriate
Yes,
ways, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
There was a funeral that I went to like
Oh my
Oh,
god!
sir.
Right.
a funeral that
Please
I went
tell,
to like
please
a few
tell.
years ago, and I don't know what made me laugh. Oh, it was a white lady, right? Okay, so it was it was a funeral for one of my it was a relative, so she was Filipino, right? And then we were all sad. We were saying the prayers and everything. All of a sudden, this white lady comes up, starts singing something, but it was in Tagalog, which is Filipino language.
yeah.
And I was like, this is so weird. Like she looks so white, but she's singing in Tagalog.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop laughing. And then I turned. My mom was right here. I turned to her. I was like, "Are you listening to this?" And I could see her just laughing too. She's like, "Shut up."
I'm going to hell.
And then I just couldn't hold it. I was laughing so hard. I pretended that I was crying. I turned it into crying. So I was just like with a tissue. I was like laughing. I'm like, And then
Christ.
yeah, and then it was just like you turned into comedy, right?
Yeah.
You turned
Yeah.
to laughter in the most inappropriate things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a story like I have a friend Carolyn, like a lot of these guys know her. Like she just loves like talking shit to me, just like how our relationship is.
Shout out to my baby girl.
Yeah, shouts to the girl right there. But so I told her one time about this story, and it's supposed to be like traumatizing, right? Like I told her, and then you guys probably get laugh because I'm gonna fucking right.
Why would you tell?
I don't know, but so the story is like I told her I was like, you know, when I was younger, I said I was raped by one of my girlfriends, and
Wait,
then
what?
Yeah, he really was.
You were raped.
yeah, I was raped by one of my girlfriends.
Okay.
And then, you know, she was like, "Oh, you're being stupid." I was like, "No, I'm serious. I'm a survivor." And then when I said that, I looked at her. She just busted out laughing. I'm like, "Seriously, I'm a survivor. You're gonna look at me and me explain my trauma. You're gonna laugh at me and being a survivor."
Yeah.
And then she just kept on laughing. I'm like, I couldn't help but to laugh myself because
Yeah.
like it's like I know that's like how I'm coping with it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's obviously a serious issue. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But I'm
it's
like, this is just how I deal with
It's
things.
the
And
irony.
It's
kind
the
of,
irony.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just like, you're so fucking stupid. Like, stop saying that, you know? And so you can't do anything about it. So it's just
Yeah.
like the way your mind thinks. You know, it's
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
how I
yeah.
talked about before, like when I get in an argument with one of my exes and she would cry.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, don't tell me you're fucking hard on me right now. And then because I am, I can't help but to fucking laugh because she just fucking called me out on it. Like what you want me to do? Like I'm trying to be serious with you right now. Me too.
How about when they cry and their face is hella ugly that you have to laugh?
No, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
he loves that even more.
Yeah, it makes me laugh and I'm bricked up at the same time. So like, what do I do?
Stop.
It's like, it's hella inappropriate, and I'm not like I am trying to be serious. I am trying to take things seriously,
yeah.
but like that's just how like I process things. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
it is comedy.
It's,
you know what I mean?
laughter is medicine, right?
Oh,
Laughter
yeah.
is medicine.
Oh,
Of course. I mean, every time I talk about something that's like happened and that was like bad when I was younger in the past, like I always find something that's like very funny about it now.
Right,
Like in
right.
hindsight, I find like things where I'm like, oh, that was actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
Even though at the time I might have been like raging or like completely pissed off.
Yeah.
But now that I look back, I'm like, oh, that was actually kind of funny.
And that's how you cope.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
feel like all our therapy sessions would be just us laughing.
yeah,
seriously.
exactly.
It's like,
Exactly.
I'm so depressed.
What do you think this is?
No, exactly.
No, but also I do
That's
also
true.
think
Yeah.
I also think like comedians, a lot of them are
Oh,
very
yeah.
aware of these
Oh,
things,
yeah.
and a lot of them are like depressed or going through like a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
And
Really good
that's where they
ones.
get their materials from. You know what I mean? Like I
Laughter
think.
comes from pain. Yeah.
Yeah,
seriously,
yeah, exactly. And now, like honestly, like whenever I tell stories where it's like, oh shit, like that happened to you, like yeah, I would prefer if you guys laugh at that story, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like be insensitive,
Yeah.
but I'm also like hey, you know what? I'm past it.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of funny now.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
let me laugh at your rape.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. It's just a bastard.
It's really funny that you mentioned that though, because like one of my homegirls, Jane, posted this thing this week where it was like talking about how like men aren't often seen, like their pain isn't seen, their like trouble, like the stuff that they go through, you're not really seen, and you take it out in this way too, where it's like you do not form these bonds of intimacy that women do. Like women can be very like, you know, intimate and like with each other and stuff without, you know, being sexual and stuff.
Men
but
don't.
men can't do that. You know, men have a hard time doing that,
Yeah.
and it comes out in this way where it's like the only time a man can be intimate is through sex. You know, that is the only that it becomes very hard to like, you know, find intimacy in other ways because society kind of pushes you in this direction where you can't be intimate like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, and when you talk about it, it's like, oh, you know, what do you mean you're a dude? Like, why are you even talking about that? The same thing with that, where it's like you bring up this issue, or like, hey, like, you know, I was taken advantage of, you know, and
Yeah.
you know, obviously Carolyn's like a homie and everything, but like, you know, sometimes the response other people will be like, you know, so what, you know,
Yeah.
oh, you got some, or like, oh, you know,
Oh, yeah,
what
of
does it
course.
matter, you know, or they'll laugh or everything. But sometimes it can be a big deal, you know. There is that like, there is this like invisible thing that, and I'm not saying men experience more than women or anything like that, like bad shit, like, because women have it bad too, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, of
But like,
course.
you know, some of the stuff like does go on scene for dudes, just like that.
Yeah.
It's just we're not vocal about it too. Like,
That's the thing too.
too,
Like
so,
you're
yeah.
kind of forced to be silent about it because like you're told like, okay, you know, something like that where it's like, no, you got lucky. Like that's a good
Yeah.
thing, man.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
would even if you feel some weird way about it? No, like come on, man.
I read this book called Man Enough by Jason Baldine or something. Have you heard of him or that book, Man Enough? basically it basically talks about that, like you men are brought up to like kind of hide their emotions, but it's important for us guys to just like this, like get together and talk about our
Oh, yeah.
feelings. Yeah, very important. Like that's
That's-
our way of coping with
That's
things,
actually
yeah.
what I really like about like every freaking show we do here. Like, especially when it's like another dude too. Like, you do get to that point where like, we talk about our feelings, we talk about this stuff, like, and it becomes like, kind of therapeutic.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen an immigrant father who says no, I don't want a dog, and then ends up having a dog, and then they fucking love the dog and they treat it like another child, it is because society teaches a man that you can't be soft, that you can't express
Yeah.
your emotions with like another dude or anything, whatever.
Yeah.
But you have
That's what-
this creature where all it is like just love, and you're able to like really, really express your love for this fucking animal,
Yeah.
and all that love that you couldn't express in actual, like with your actual family, with your siblings, kids, wife,
Yeah.
comes out on this dog, and you
Yeah.
see those immigrant fathers just cater to
Yeah,
these
yeah.
animals and stuff, and it's right there. That's how you know it's there.
Do you guys have any dogs right now?
Oh yeah, I
This
do.
guy.
I have 2 dogs and a
You have a
cat.
few?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Ask for his screen name.
My my screen name,
Yeah,
my
your-
AIM screen name,
your AIM screen
my
name.
my Instagram
Your
handle is
handle.
called Mr. Steal Your Dogs.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
No, dude,
You're a
I
dog
love my
lover?
dogs.
Yeah.
They've given me an outlet for like love and stuff. Where I'm like,
For
I
sure,
realize that my family dynamic is so much more fulfilling when we have animals in the house. Where it's like
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
see. Same thing we're talking about, like we're like, as a father and stuff, like my dad, like he can give love to these animals unconditionally, and sometimes it's not easy to do that as an immigrant, and like we all together we bond over like what the animals do in the house, like oh, look at this guy. And we have a group chat now. We send each other family like
yeah.
photos of the animals and stuff,
Yeah.
and it makes us all closer together. And I think that's a dynamic. We used to have a dog. And then if 5 years passed, we didn't have one, then we got this, and we realized there was this whole dynamic missing where it's like your family's just closer together. We go hike together and we bring the dogs, We go out together. Oh, the dog's okay. Okay. Let's go do this. Let's bring them here, whatever. It just makes you closer. At least for us, it makes us closer as a
Oh
family.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love watching Instagram videos of dogs or like TikTok videos of dogs. They're just like they're like humans, but
Oh, yeah.
like they're helpless in a way. In a
Yeah.
way, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like they can't talk, obviously, but they just do the cutest things. You
Oh
know?
yeah. For me,
Yeah.
I always have a soft spot for dogs, babies, and old people because they can't help themselves. Like you need to help them out.
If I want to see dogs on Instagram, I just look at Mars'
your friends?
profile.
All right, I'll follow you after this.
No, that's interesting that you guys have that soft spot. Because like to be honest, like maybe I'm like how your dad is, where it's hard for me to be like,
Are you like,
Like-
I wonder how that tastes right now?
Oh.
damn, we went there.
Okay, I'm canceled.
Well, he was born in Malaysia, so he is one of those.
Oh, yeah, actually, no, I didn't want to go into it, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying as far as like how your parents could give love to like pets unconditionally, right? And but at the same time, they're raised to be like, oh, you don't say things like they're cute or like that kind of like descriptor. Because like I also find myself having a hard time to describing like dogs like that. I do think that. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
this
yeah.
this dog's so cute.
Yeah,
And even
actually,
I
yeah,
do.
yeah.
I almost never hear you say anything
Yeah,
like that.
I don't
about
say that
dogs.
about babies. I don't say that about dogs. The things I find cute, I don't even say it.
Oh wow.
And even if I
even
do
women.
say it, I say it in a different way.
Yeah.
I say like, oh, the dog's cute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like,
You're not that,
oh,
yeah.
the dog's cute. Like, I never
yeah,
do that.
He never
It's
does
I
that.
never
Awkward for
do
you,
that.
huh?
It's hard. Yeah, it's awkward. I'm learning how to become better at that. I'm learning
it.
how to. I don't know. Like, is it one way of being vulnerable? Maybe I have no idea. But but I do notice that there are things that I do want to say that's like very difficult for me because that's just the
Yeah.
way I've been raised.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm like unraveling it as I go. You know what I
That's
mean?
interesting.
And I'm not fucking young, but I'm also still. I still have a lot to learn. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
definitely.
So like there are times where like it feels forced for me to say it. Like I'll see a dog, I'm like, oh, that dog's kind of cute.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go.
That seemed natural. Yeah.
That was a lot natural. That was a
yeah,
lot.
but it takes a bit for me to even say it. And
You
and
have to
that
prepare yourself.
motherfucking dog better be cute as shit though. You know what I mean? Like I'm one of those people where like I don't give it to you easy because just
Yeah.
because you're a dog or just because you're a baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
some people are like, oh,
poor
your
baby.
baby's so cute. I'm like, what the fuck? The baby's ugly as shit. Like the hell, just because they got a baby pass.
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
like I'm like that baby is like when it's cute, like it's undeniably cute.
Honestly, I've never been a dog person until like my ex-girlfriend was into it. It was
Oh,
a
really?
dog person. Yeah. When she got our dog, I was just like, oh my God, love this dog.
Yes!
It's,
Oh, wow.
it's hella fucking. It's obedient. It was kind of dumb but smart in a way.
Yeah.
Like dumb as far as like what the fuck are you doing, but it knew what it was doing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It was like, it was a miniature American Eskimo, and it was more of an outdoor dog, but. He figured out how to get out of the cage in the indoors.
Yeah,
like
from
he was
inside.
like clawing at the lock, and I was like, holy! It was like those plastic locks, the
Yeah,
zip
yeah.
ties. I was like, how did you get out? And I see this Ziploc bag or a tie just all torn apart. I'm like, holy shit, you're hella smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's one thing that I've always had a soft spot for is like very smart animals or things that you would call like defenseless or like helpless.
Yeah.
Like when they're smart or they show like an attribute that's like I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Like I appreciate that to the next.
Yeah.
Because I guess maybe I'm not a person where I'm just like, oh, it looks cute. Like to me, looks is again, it goes back to like the way I think about myself. Like it's just genetics. Like you're just born into it. You didn't do anything for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like when like let's say like an animal shows like a certain level of like intellect, I'm like, oh, that's really fucking cool. Like I really
sure.
appreciate that. Or kids, like I'm not trying to say anything, but both of my half brothers are extremely like intelligent for children. Like my little brother Henry, since he was like 7 years old, was building puzzles and like all these like like he would build like a pendulum that would like swing and like knock something over and all these dominoes as a little kid. Crazy. You know, my brother Alex, he just kind of like understood like how people function. He understood how people feel. You know, I was just like, wow, this is crazy for a kid. Because to me, when I think of a kid, they're like, oh, you know, like they don't really understand how the world
Like
works.
us.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you mean like
Yeah.
a little clueless, right? And to see that, I'm just like, oh, okay, like that's what I really appreciate. Because I appreciate that like as an adult. So for you to do that as a kid, I'm like, okay, I definitely see where you're going.
sure.
And I appreciate brilliance, you know, for me.
Yeah.
You know, so just the way I think about things.
Dude, that makes me think I was a dumbass kid when I was fucking. I
Yeah.
didn't give a fuck. I just wanted to like just have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. And
Yeah.
I think also though, like, I don't know, again, just might be my experience. Like when I was a kid, I honestly dumbed myself down to like be funny for people around me to be more relatable because like kids around me just didn't understand. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I realized that now, you know, I was basically sandbagging in real life. Like I was just like, okay, I'm gonna act like I'm just as dumb or whatever. So maybe they were doing the exact same thing that I was doing.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's weird because like you often get like criticized for being smart as a
Yeah.
kid
Yeah.
by anyone
Yeah.
that's not your peers. You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah.
Like your peers will always make fun of you. Oh, this kid's so fucking smart. But anyone who's not your peers, they'll be like, oh, he's so smart, he's so brilliant. Like stuff like that is awesome. But you're not trying to get acceptance from adults. You're trying to get it from your peers.
I think we talked earlier about how kids are assholes. Did we say that?
No, but kids
I think
definitely
so,
can be
yeah.
assholes. for
Because
sure.
I know I've had the same experience where like, you know, you are just being yourself as a kid and like you get called out for like being smart. And I remember like being a kid and like, oh, they'll call you like schooly or nerd
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
and stuff. And it's like, it's one of the reasons I ended up gravitating more towards like my Asian friends. Cause
Yeah.
like, it'd be like my Latino friends who'd be like making fun of me for like, you know, getting good grades or something like that. So I'd end up hanging out with the Asians who were like, they're all getting good grades already. Like they won't make fun of me for this. Like,
yeah, exactly.
know?
Well, as far as because you guys are both the oldest out of your family, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys have like a not pressure, but a standard to like set for your other siblings? Did you feel like that?
I feel like the only standard that I had set for my siblings was basically like a leadership role. You know, like I'm not like my younger brother. He's only a year and a half younger than me, so not much
not
younger.
that much. Yeah.
But because I was the older one, like when things like when shit hits the fan, like I gotta be the one to step up.
Right.
You know, I never expected my siblings to do it, you know, and even till now, you know what I mean? Like if we have an awkward conversation with like our parents, I'll be the one to bring up like that meeting and that conversation, you know, and it's just like how when, you know, we first started going out as kids, you know, if I went out late at night, like I'm paving the way for them to do it, you know,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and when
yeah.
they did it, I gotta be like, yo, you let me do it. Like, you know, it's only fair. Like
I feel like you're Vietnamese, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The parents are like they put that responsibility on the older.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, they do.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are they
you-
hard on you or not really?
They're not as hard on me anymore because I think my parents have just kind of like written me off as like that person who's gonna provide them
Yeah.
like that unachievable goal of having a golden child. You know what I mean? So like I think they put that on my younger sister who's
Okay.
like academically like smarter and more successful, and because of that they don't look for that in me. They
Right,
look
right,
for
right,
that in
right.
her.
Got it.
You know,
Okay.
and I at first they did for a while, and I'm not trying to blame my parents, but like when I was growing up and going through things like the hardships that they were going through, the arguments that they had, the divorce, all these other things, like it's a lot of pressure for a kid who's dealing with your parents' divorce
sure.
also to be like academically driven
Sure,
or
yeah.
like succeeding in like
Yeah.
school. You know what I mean? So I as immigrant parents or Vietnamese parents, like I don't think they understand what that's like.
Yeah.
Because like I'll be honest, like most Vietnamese people from my parents' generation, they're not like academically successful. A lot of them don't even reach like a certain level of academics. Like they drop, like I think my mom dropped out in like high school. My dad dropped
They're
out in
limited.
middle school.
They're
You know what I mean?
limited,
Never
yeah.
even got to high school.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people who've never even gone to like elementary school or if that even exists. But the expectations that they have on you is like this idea, this theory of like what it's supposed to be like because they haven't experienced it themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's different. That pressure is a little different, and
Yeah.
obviously like, me and Mario always talk about it, like our parents have grit. Like immigrant parents, if they want to work their asses off, they will fucking do it.
Yes.
But if
Yeah.
you take them to school, they're like, nah, I ain't doing that.
Dude, our generation, like some of us don't realize, but we are privileged. Like we
yeah.
have,
Oh,
we
for
have
sure. So fucking privileged.
Yeah, like we don't have to work as much as they did to like make it into the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but we still have to work. But at the same time, it's just like you have to find that level of respect towards them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you
100%.
feel that? How do you feel about your parents, about your career? Like, do they understand what you're doing and everything?
They do, but at the same time, it's like because my siblings are as old as like my oldest sibling is 50. No, wait, so 20 years. So like 56, 58.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
I feel like they tried with them, and then as soon as they started having younger kids, it's just like okay. We kind of understand it. So me, I'm just like, okay, I got the lucky end of the stick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But with them, it's just like I understand their pressure of like trying to be the best what they do. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're privileged. Like
Yeah.
we gotta just not only accept it, but be aware of it. You know?
No, definitely.
Yeah.
So they're cool with what you do. And
They're cool with
they're-
what I do. They're like just like, oh yeah, do what you want to do.
Make us laugh.
And make us laugh. Exactly. Yeah.
Entertain us.
We understand the way of life now.
Yeah. So I mean, okay, so you're youngest of 7. I'm assuming a lot of your siblings are married, or
Everyone's married, yeah.
everyone's
But
married,
me, yeah.
but you. So
Yeah.
you're
But you-
youngest. I've said the only one that's unmarried.
Yeah.
Right.
No kids, nothing.
No kids,
Yeah.
nothing,
I
right?
don't think, but yeah.
Yeah, not that you know of,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like how like because you talk about pressure and like how they lead the way and like your parents are like, oh, been there, done that. Like they've already done it with like your older siblings. Being that like you're the youngest one that's like unmarried, right, and don't have kids. Do you think that there is a pressure being the youngest one?
More so my happiness, you know, like they want me to be happy. I feel like I don't know, it's hard to say. Like my older siblings, we all want everyone to be happy, right? But it's just like, okay, so David's the youngest. Just let him do what he wants to do because we understand what it is to want to be happy here in this culture, you know, in America. And the pressure for me, which kind of makes sense for them is me being married. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they want me to be married,
Yeah.
have
Obviously.
kids. They don't say it because they know it's different. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
I
just
know.
like
I know.
you know, it's different now. But they do want me to be married, have kids, and everything. So
But
that's the pressure I feel.
But you don't have it because your older siblings already have like kids and
Exactly.
everything too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're so lucky.
But you know what? Like I think it's not as bad as like the aunties and uncles. You know what I mean? That are more traditional. They're
Yeah.
like, "Why don't
Dave,
you
when are you
guys
get
do-"
married?
Exactly.
Dave, what's
Why
going
don't you get
on?
married? What's your we, Alan, who was just here, like he was telling me about his pressure, and I'm like, dude, yeah, I agree. Yeah, don't have kids. Don't. I mean, if it comes, it comes.
I think that's so funny because I
Yeah.
mean, for me as the oldest, I feel that pressure too. Where like my parents,
Yeah.
something like they do want grandkids, you know, and it's up to
Exactly.
me. Like I'm the first one, I have to do it. I have to pave the way. Like it's not gonna be like my younger sibling. Like I know it has to be me. At least with you, it's probably you're not gonna do it, but like it's probably gonna be Tiff. Like you know, she'll have kids and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
and I noticed that there's these differences sometimes between like the oldest, the middle child, the youngest, and like I see it in like the way we interact with each other. And I'm like,
Are any of
oh.
your siblings married or have kids?
No. My sister's younger than me. She's still working on her career and everything. Like,
Okay.
if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be me. Like, I'll probably be the first one.
So they want you to be the first, or not
Yeah.
want, but you're
I'm it's most likely gonna be me.
Okay.
Damn, that's crazy. Can't wait to see Mario with the kid.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a great
It's
dad.
honestly just like a generational,
Both.
type of like way of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
It is.
we're not gonna be like this to our fucking grandkids or
No.
nieces and nephews. Like, just do you, and then they might see it differently. Like, I
Yeah.
have to be married by now, but it, it's just like you have to understand. You know what I mean? Understand and put each other in each other's shoes.
And I think it's hard sometimes for our parents because like what they do see, like you said, like their happiness that they see us getting married, us having a family, because
yeah.
that's what it was for them. You know,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what they needed to like
Yeah.
survive and like be happy and all that.
Yeah.
And for at least for me, I'm like, I am trying to enjoy my life. I'm trying to like work on myself. I'm trying to like.
I feel like they not despise, but like they're envious of it. They're like,
Yeah, 'cause they
"Damn,
didn't-
I wish I could be that." When
But
I
they
was
won't say it like that.
No, they
though.
won't. They won't.
They want
They'll-
to say
yeah.
like, "Hey, don't you think you're having too much fun?"
Exactly. Yeah.
I will say when my parents are great. Like they're like, hey, like they at the same time where they do want me to have like kids and everything too. They're like, enjoy your youth. Like
Yeah.
hey, like this only comes once. Make the most of it. And I'm like, thank you. Like I do get that part too, where
Oh,
it's
that's
like,
nice.
no, my parents are super like. They're very modern. They're very like open
Yeah.
about things. Like they're like, hey, we want to be grandparents as soon as we can, but also enjoy your life.
That's super nice. My dad's
Yeah.
like, "Peter, when are you getting married?" I'm like, "Dad, I don't even have a girlfriend. Who the fuck am I supposed to marry? Like, what the hell?" He'll be like, "I'll pay for your wedding." I'm like, "What wedding? What are you talking about?" I'm like, because like to him, the ultimate end goal is to get married. It's not to have a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
It's
It's to
totally
reproduce.
different. Yeah, it's to reproduce.
Yeah.
Like my mom was like, "So I heard you don't want to get married. That's wrong.
She watches the podcast.
no, she just heard from one of my exes, but then she was like, yeah, she told me that you don't want to get married. Like, you should get married. I'm like, why? She's like, because you have to. And I was like, why is that? Because it's wrong to not get married.
Oh.
And then I told her, I was like, hey, you want to hear why I don't want to get married? Do you really want to hear why? And she was like, why? And I was like, because I have a mom who's 2 times divorced, single now, not happy in any of her marriages, telling her son to get married when she doesn't even know what to do with her own life.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay.
Got her. Got her.
Yeah.
Damn.
Because, it doesn't make sense. It's not
Yeah,
logical
no, I
at
know.
all. You know what I mean? Like, if I felt something, like, trying to do it my way, I wouldn't push my way on someone
yeah.
else. I'm just asking you to fail at that point.
Yeah.
Before we start lightning round, I did forget to ask you one question.
Sure.
What has been your craziest dating experience? The
Craziest
craziest thing that's
dating
ever happened to you?
Okay, so it was a Bumble match, yeah. And I invited her to a soccer game,
All right.
or it's like an intramural soccer, or I'm sorry, flag football game.
Oh, flag
And I
football.
was just like, hey, you'll have fun. And she's like, are you sure? And she's like, okay. So she shows up, and then we're having fun, but then she ends up liking the dude on my team. So it's like, okay, are we on a date or are you on a date?
Oh,
And
what?
it's not that bad, but whatever. It's like, shit, it's supposed to be my date, bitch.
It's
not that bad.
Yeah, that's
It's not that bad, but it's at the same time, it's like, fucking bitch. We're supposed to be on a date. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the craziest you got? You want to go a little deeper? You want to go a little crazier?
That's the craziest date. No, because I don't get that much dates in Bumble. But
Oh,
that's
it's
the
because he's like me. You remember? He doesn't really do all those date things that often.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir, you've had some crazy stuff happen to you.
But it's
So.
not
Yeah.
dating. It's kind of like girlfriend stories. You know what I mean? Like a little
Do you have
different.
any crazy girlfriend stories? And I mean,
Girlfriend stories?
crazy, like like she faked
Oh
a
my God.
pregnancy,
Oh,
Slashed
no,
your
no,
tires.
slashed your
no.
tire, stabbed you, punched you.
Okay, so basically what happened was, uh, she was partying, and then she took off her top, and then was like painted, breast painted, like she had spray, and then I found a picture of it from my coworker's phone that was his friend. I was like, holy shit, that's my fucking girlfriend. Yeah. And I'm like, and then we're like,
Holy.
holy shit. Okay, I'm just so fucking pissed off. And then that whole fucking night, she kept calling me, and I was just ignoring it. I was just like, no, fuck that shit, fuck this shit. But
Whoa.
yeah, I was just like, it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was done.
It was done. I was just like,
done.
fuck this. No,
Yeah,
why are you
yeah.
getting a
That's-
second chance for that shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
damn. Okay, that's pretty fucking wild.
Kind of scarred me, but a little bit. It's fine.
Yeah, no,
Now I can never see another titty again with paint, with paint on it.
Please don't. It was a star too. It was like, oh, shit. Right on the nipple. I'm like, fuck, bitch. I'm gonna do that with my penis real quick.
All right, guys, welcome back to Lightning Round, where we ask you rapid fire questions. If our guest cannot answer on time, he has to take
A drink of something. I don't know.
Tequila
it's either
or
tequila
piss.
or piss. Maybe we should make the segment
At this-
tequila or piss.
Tequila or piss.
At this point, yeah, it's piss.
All right, David.
All right.
Who is your favorite artist?
Artist, musician.
Doesn't
there's-
matter.
Take
a shot.
Shit.
Yeah. You still gotta answer
You
this.
still gotta answer though.
David Garibaldi.
Okay, fair,
Yeah.
fair.
Do you know him? No.
No.
No,
Okay,
no,
no,
but
so-
that's fair though. Sounds like a real name.
Sounds like you're a deli.
Just made it up. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's a good artist from
Okay.
Sacramento. He paints the shit upside down, and then when he turns around, you're like, holy shit, that's what he was doing.
yeah,
Oh,
tight,
that's
tight.
sick. I've seen
That's
those.
tight, that's tight.
Okay. Do you have a fetish?
Still me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foot.
Oh,
I gotta
okay.
drink.
He's a footman. He's a
Yeah,
footman.
he only needs one.
I'm
Is
a
it-
one.
is
One
it-
foot. The left foot. Okay, the left.
Is it the
Two,
arch?
he's no longer
Wait, why is this
interested.
still me though? I
It's
thought
only
we
you.
took
It's
a
only
turn.
you. It's
Yeah,
only.
yeah.
Is it the arch or the toe?
Oh, it's the arch.
Your favorite food?
Filipino food.
Something you regret.
Fuck.
Something you regret.
No, that was the question before.
Yeah, you still have to
Yeah, you
answer
still
it.
haven't answered.
Okay, so there. Okay. Moving. My first year moving to LA with no fucking agenda.
Something you're proud of.
My family.
What makes you happy?
My family.
What makes you sad?
My family. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yo, that was so real. That was so real.
That was for the comedy aspect of it.
Yeah,
fine, I'll drink
comedy.
to that. I'll drink to it.
If you were a rapper, what would your name be?
These nuts.
Ooh, okay. Words of advice you'd give somebody.
Love yourself.
Oh, okay. Deep.
Something you've learned from doing comedy and acting.
Just fucking trust yourself.
All right, cool. Your favorite sibling?
Oh shit!
Oh, that's
Oh my god. Okay, so honestly, it's the one that I hated the most growing up. So my sister Christina. I love you, Christina.
Oh,
Shout out Christina.
shout out to Christina.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, cool.
Hey, she's taken. Okay.
All right, if you could pick one thing as a Filipino, would you sing, dance, or DJ,
Or play basketball.
or play basketball,
Ooh,
or boxing,
what? Or what?
or boxing?
Shit. Wait,
You'd be
what were the
good.
choices? Sing,
Dance.
Dance,
DJ,
DJ,
boxing.
boxing.
Or basketball.
Well, I could dance a little bit. Thank you very much.
course you
But you can
Of
only
course
pick
you
one
can.
to be good at.
Oh,
You're one-dimensional Filipino.
DJing.
Oh.
Yeah,
DJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chicka chicka boom boom.
Favorite Filipino dish?
DJ D's nuts.
Palabok, which is
Oh.
like a pancit kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
There's the noodles. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, if you could redo one relationship with an ex, who would it be?
Okay. Shit. Well, that's a good.
You go
question.
crazy
That's a good
here.
question.
You go crazy.
Okay, so she's married now, and then the one has a kid. So I'll drink to that.
How many kids?
That I want. 3 at least.
Okay, how many wives?
5. One wife.
All right, if you had a venue that you choose to do your final stand-up comedian spot,
Ooh.
what would it be?
Final.
I'm like, this is it. I've made
Like,
it. This is
I've
done.
made
I'm
it.
done.
This is
This
me.
pinnacle of my career.
I would have to say Hollywood Bowl.
Okay.
Hollywood Bowl.
Oh,
Nice.
okay,
Yeah.
Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would bring all the Bay Area folks with me.
Yeah.
Hey,
All the
Bay
Bay
Area
Area
function,
folks,
baby. If you could choose a character in a film to play, what character would it be?
Jim Carrey for sure.
What Jim Carrey?
Ace
what?
Ventura,
Oh.
Part 3. I'll be the fucking understudy of him.
Damn. Okay.
I was gonna say Manny Pacquiao. Like
Oh,
the,
no.
Manny
Well, he's
Pacquiao
not- he's
too.
not a
Manny
superhero.
Pacquiao too, bro.
Who's your idol?
Jim Carrey.
Carey.
All right. If you had all the money in the world, what would be the first thing that you do?
I would fucking invest. I would honestly. I would fucking just buy my fucking family a neighborhood and
Oh,
we'll
okay,
live
that's
together.
right.
We'll live with each other.
Wait, Liar Liar or The Mask?
Mask.
Yeah, Mask
yeah.
or Pet Detective?
Mask. I like Mask. I like Mask.
Hey, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
I like
okay.
Mask.
All right. Do you like Jim Carrey when he's not a comedian?
No, yeah, honestly, yes, I do. He's a good dramatic actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless
Eternal Sunshine,
Mind.
yeah.
fucking
I know. Yeah. Truman Show.
Truman Show.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking too.
Dude, he's
Even
that
Bruce
was
Almighty,
crazy.
really solid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Even part 2 of Bruce Almighty.
No, dude, I grew up on that fucking Jim Carrey. He was my favorite actor growing up.
Dude,
Yeah,
he's
The
so
Mask,
sick.
Liar
He's so
Liar,
sick.
Pet Detective.
Yeah.
Dude, it was
Me, Myself,
so
and
funny.
Irene.
Me, Myself, and Irene.
Oh my
funny
god!
thing, as you
that
get older,
underrated,
Yeah.
underrated.
I never
Underrated,
I never
bro.
understood the part where he was peeing.
Where
And
he
I was
goes like that? That's
until
exactly what I was thinking.
Until
I was
I got
thinking that
older,
exact-
and I was like, oh.
Every time I pee, I'm like, holy shit, is it going this way?
I'm like, oh, I get it.
I get it. Yeah, I
get
get
it.
That was classic.
All right, guys, that concludes Lightning Round. I want to say thank you to our amazing guest. So funny, so entertaining. David, let us know where we can find you.
You guys can find me on David @David_Devera Instagram. That's all I got.
Thank you guys for watching this far into the podcast. It's been a long but very comedic podcast.
Stupid ass.
But don't forget, live fast,
eat
ass.